There you go. It probably says this thing is recording it, right? Cool. Anyways, why am I running this class? And why it's free? Because I love helping people. And also, uh, what's the next slide? I love food. And it seems like everyone loves food too. Um, Here's pictures of me like the past year with all this food. I'm a foodie. I have known to have a big appetite ever since for the longest time. And it took me a lot of trial and error to be in great shape while still being able to eat all the naughty foods. And I want to teach that to everyone. Um, and also, we got this. Oh, yeah, you guys have probably been taking this, or like you've taken this personality test, the 16 personalities. Here's a bit about my personality. So, my wife made me do this in the first few weeks of dating. And made me realize a few things about myself. So, um, it made me realize, oh, yeah, I have a strong sense of passion, of teaching people. But also, I also put myself in, to other people's shoes. I like to understand more perspectives about everyone. And I often envision a better world. Um, and I try to make that a reality. So I feel like this has always been a calling for me to be a fitness trainer, to teach people how to feel good in their clothes, be able to eat whatever they want, but also to live like this. Like once you're living like this, you're going to be able to feel like anything is possible. Um, but yeah, so let's dive in. So common myths about fat loss. Um, if you guys don't have pen and paper, please write this down. You have to give up all your favorite foods, is what they all say. But it's not. I eat pizza all the time. I eat sushi all the time. Um, Number two is more cardio, eat less, which is kind of true, but not completely. Um, Number three, you have to starve yourself. Nope. I'm never feeling hungry. My clients don't feel hungry either, maybe sometimes. But that's what they got to do to see results. Number four, calories in, calories out. In the Zoom chat, comment some myths that you have right now, and I'll debunk them for you right now. Okay. Number five, you have to spend many hours in the gym, which is false. I only work out 3 to 4 times a week, and that's 3 to 4 hours in my week. Okay. Um, so, so this is what you guys came here for is mastering portion control. Oh, here you go. So, Steph says, carbs are bad. That is not true. Carbs are good. That's what you need in order to fuel yourself, in the workouts. Too much carbs, is what's going to cause you to gain fat, right? Because if you have too much carbs, they're going to be stored as fat. And if you go over like a certain limit of carbs per day, for everyone, it's different. Um, but then you don't want to be overeating carbs. So when I teach you about portion control, you're going to learn how much carbs you should be eating, in order to stay lean. Okay. So, you came here for this, mastering portion control. So, what is portion control first? So, uh, portion control is about managing the amount of food that is served, and consumed during a meal. And why is it important for fat loss? So research has shown that people, um, eat more food when it's offered in larger portions. So portion control is very important when you're trying to, lose the weight and keep it off. So, for example, many people nowadays eat takeout, because it's convenient. A takeout food always gives out large portions of food. And of course, you are inclined to eat it all because you spent all your hard money on it. right? But then most of the time, they're always going to give a lot of carbs. For example, I had um, poke a few days ago, and they put a lot of rice in there. Um, Same for like when you go to the food court as well. They load it with a lot of rice, a lot of noodles, and you're just bound to eat it because you paid for it, right? So the benefits of portion control is you can eat whatever you want, so no food is off limits. For my clients that are developing healthier habits and bringing their weight down, um, they have to portion out their food. They don't have to bring like a scale to like the restaurant, for example. You've probably seen that before, but that is too extreme. Um, so yeah, you don't have to rely on calorie tracking that much for portion control, and it's sustainable and it's super easy to do. And I'm going to teach you in the next few slides. But also for one of my clients, when they go out for dinner, I tell them that you got to portion out your food. So I'll show you exactly how. So you want to use your hands as a portioning tool. So for example, so in each meal, you want a certain amount um, of macros for per meal, so you don't overeat and you don't eat too much carbs because if you eat too much carbs, it's going to be stored as fat. So if you look at your palm, um, this is a serving of protein. So for you guys, it's going to be either 1 to 2 palm sizes of protein per meal. So that could be like a chicken breast. So like ideally lean protein. So chicken breast, ground beef, ground chicken, fish is good as well. Avoid the fatty meats like pork. Okay. Um, for veggies, we use a fistful of veggies. So it's either gonna be 1 to 2 fistfuls in each meal. But if I were being honest with you, veggies unlimited. So you could have as many veggies as you want in each meal. So they're very low in calories, and the way I see them, they are nature's medicine cabinet for you. So they're low in calories, they're high in nutrients, have unlimited amount of that. And they make you feel full faster, which is going to help you eat less, right? For carbs, it's probably going to be just 1 cupped handful of carbs. You don't want the cupped handful to go too high. You just want it that much. Like just cup your hand that much. And that's how much carbs you should be eating if you want to bring the weight down. And fats, I don't really count. Um, but yeah, so this is what it should look like if you're a male and you're trying to lose weight. So you want 2 palm sizes worth of protein in each meal. So that's a lot of protein. 2 fistfuls of veggies. Honestly, veggies can be unlimited. Again, oh, that's a typo. So 1 cupped handful of carbs. So starchy carbs. That would include noodles. That would include potatoes. That would include rice. That's how you want to portion out your meals if you're trying to lose weight. So you could take this with you to anywhere you eat, for example. So like let's say White Spot. They're gonna give you food. Let's say you order what's something people would order from White Spot, to be honest. Group chat, comment what you would order from White Spot so I can tell you how you would portion that. So leave a comment in the group chat what you would order from White Spot. So off the top of my head, you can order the steak, which is good. Oh yeah, there you go, steak. So you want 2 fistfuls of veggies. So like this is for a male. You want the steak, which is probably 2 palm sizes worth of protein, which is already good. And then you want 2 fistfuls of veggies. So I would sub out any starchy carbs, so maybe mashed potatoes. with a salad instead. You could also ask for less mashed potatoes if you want, or you can have baked potatoes instead, something like that. But you want to make sure you're following like the portions in in the guide here. Okay. So this is what it looks like for males. It's going to be the same thing for females, but less protein. But if you want, you can eat more protein, more veggies, um, of course, less rice. Okay. Typo here. So here are hacks to avoid overeating. So just to be clear, are we clear on portion control? Does anyone have any questions about portion control? Any questions, leave it on the Zoom chat. If not, we will move on. Okay. So, um, make sure you guys are writing this down on your notes. So here are hacks to avoid overeating. So people tend to overeat often, because they are given larger portions. And naturally, again, as I said earlier, research shows that people, when they're given um, more food in larger portions, they're bound to eat it. Okay. So try using smaller plates and bowls in your house instead. So that's hack number one. Number two, would be to drink a glass of water before and after each meal. So you want to do this because this is going to make you feel full and eat less. For most of my clients, I tell them to drink 1 cup of water before the meal. 0 calories in water, right? Try drinking two if you want. You can also try drinking a Diet Coke or Coke Zero, 0 calories. Okay. Um, and then why we do this is because the energy needed to heat the water to body temp is going to require energy, which is going to use up calories or burn calories. Okay. So hack number one, smaller plates and bowls. Hack number two, drink a glass of water before and after each meal. And that's what you can do as well to feel full faster. So hack number three is to practice mindful eating. So it takes a while for your body to realize, oh, I am full. So um, practicing mindful eating, like eating slowly, feeling the texture of the food in your mouth, really embracing like what the food tastes like as well, is going to give your body time to recognize that you're full. Um, Eating slower also helps you feel more satisfied. So for my clients as well, like we practice this, if you're overeating too much, but also we practice this with processed foods and whole foods. And then once most of my clients start eating more whole foods and less ultra processed foods, the ultra processed foods really taste disgusting. For example, I've had a client where she said she was eating cheeseburgers all the time from McDonald's. So after, or no, not cheeseburgers, grilled cheese. Like her go-to thing was grilled cheese before. And after like 2 months of just eating normal food, um, her body just didn't want the grilled cheese anymore. And I was like, dude, that's so cool. Anyways, yeah, so when you're eating more whole foods, you're kind of training your body to eat more whole foods. And then once you introduce something different, which is highly processed foods. So for example, if you're eating really well, no ultra processed foods for 2 to 3 months, and month three, you decide to just eat an Oreo, you're gonna eat the Oreo and then you're gonna be more mindful about it because you've been practicing mindful eating. You're gonna notice that the Oreo tastes really weird. and it doesn't taste real. It doesn't taste like chocolate at all. And then your body is going to reject it, which is my goal for most of my clients. We want to be eating more whole foods because we're training our body to eat more healthy foods. And eating more whole foods is what's really going to bring the weight down as well. Okay. So I didn't add this in the slide, um, but there's a law or a rule. I'll type it into the group chat. So the rule is, or the law, so I think it's called Berardi's law, states that um, if a food is available, you are bound to eat it. So I didn't add this in the hack. I just realized I didn't add this for the slides I'm showing today. But if the food is available, you are bound to eat it. So you want to be surrounding yourself with healthier foods, of course. Because if you have ultra processed foods at home, when you're feeling super hungry, that's what you're going to eat, of course, right? So you want to make sure your fridge and your pantry is stocked um, with whole foods. So that would be like fruits. For me, I like to have a bag of frozen fruit always in my fridge. If I want something sweet, if I want something cold as well, if I want a fruit, I'll resort to a bowl of thawed out frozen fruit. It sounds weird, but that's like my favorite snack because I used to like popsicles a lot. Instead of popsicles, I'll eat frozen fruit now. And I feel so much better after as well. So you're also going to notice once you're eating healthy for 2 to 3 months, your body is going to feel less like shit, right? So imagine your body as a car. Um, like the most expensive car in the world, like your dream car. Would you give that dream car the cheapest fuel? No, you would give it the supreme fuel because it's going to help it last longer. It's going to help it's going to help that car run longer. Um, the car is going to run smoothly, right? Like you wouldn't give your most expensive car the cheapest fuel. So same for your body as well. You got to treat your body kind of like it's your dream car. You got to give it the best fuel it needs. And that is whole foods and less ultra processed foods. So the way I see ultra processed foods is kind of like the cheap gas that you buy um, for a car. But if your car is fine with cheap gas, that's fine. Yeah. Getting back into always having a bag of grapes in my fridge. Oh, dude, I got grapes too right here. There you go. But always make sure it's available because when you're feeling super hungry, that's what you're going to eat. Next slide. Any questions about the hacks? Just need a one in the Zoom chat from everyone, just so I know that we can move on. We got a great break. One in the Zoom chat, everyone. Cool. Cool. Okay. So moving on. So how to eat more and weigh less, which sounds very, well, how do you do that? So in order to eat more and weigh less, you have to be filling up on high volume, low calorie foods, which is whole foods. So is everyone aware of the difference between whole foods and processed foods? Give me a two in the Zoom chat if you guys are aware. If not, um, just comment, I am not aware of the difference between whole foods and processed foods. It's totally fine. I'll take the time to explain it as well. Right. So I'll explain anyways. So whole foods are foods that are closer to its raw state. For example, um, an apple, for example, in the apple tree. When you pick that apple out of the tree, it's still considered whole. So it's very close to its raw state. Um, Berries, for example, that you pick on your own, that's very whole foods. Um, Steak, for example, raw steak that you buy at the store, it's technically a bit processed because it went through the process of being cut into a steak. Okay. But we want foods that are closer to its raw state. So steak is good. Um, Processed foods are foods that have gone through a step before eating it. So, for example, like the apple again, if we cut the apple into pieces and then we add sugar into it, brown sugar, and then we add the cinnamon to it, and then we turn it to an apple pie, that is the pie is processed. So it's very far away from like its raw state. So that's an example of processed food. Um, Another example is, let's say for the steak, for example, if you get the steak and you ground it up and then you add seasoning to it, and then you add, let's say, a tortilla and you make into a taco, um, taco is super processed. But also like processed food is also stuff like stuff you always get into a box or like get from a box, for example, or something that's made for you already, something that's from a fast food restaurant, right? Or any restaurant because it's gone through many steps before it goes through your mouth. So, highly processed foods are foods that go through multiple steps before you eat it. An example would be Oreos. I don't even know what Oreos are made of, but definitely not chocolate. But those are the foods that go through multiple steps that contain a lot of ingredients that you don't even know about. Pop-Tarts, for example, cereal, for example, is ultra processed. Anything from a box that's ready to eat. Granola bars as well. Um, Highly processed foods, you'll find in the grocery aisle. And they're foods that are ready to eat. They are high in calories and they are low in nutrients. So they won't give you any, they're not going to give any benefit to your body whatsoever. So gonna add resin in again. So here's an example of how to eat more and weigh less. So a bag of chips versus three potatoes. A bag of chips is big. I even chose the party size. Okay. Versus a bag of potatoes. Um, the bag of potatoes, sorry, the three potatoes is going to be less calories than the Lay's chips. Because how I would make these potatoes is I would air fry them and I would just add um like the spray of olive oil. I know how much oil is in it, and I just add salt, pepper, and like and whatever seasonings. But a bag of chips, for example, went through a long process, and you're not getting a lot of nutrients from it because they add a lot of fat because they deep fry the potatoes, so it's pretty much covered in fat. And you could probably finish a bag of chips easier than three potatoes, right? So that's one example. I'm sorry. Stay on mute, Reza. So here's another example. Wait one sec. Where is my chat? Crystal, help me out.
You should just be able,
Oh,
if you
okay.
hover on that lower bar again
Got
and
it.
click on, yeah, it'll hide sometimes.
Yeah. No, I
You
got it.
just click the chat box and then it'll pop up with the screen to the right of your Zoom.
Got it. Thanks.
Mhm.
So, here's an example. So, a plate full of fries versus like a quarter of a plate of steak. So, fries, super high in calories, very low in nutrients. It's just carbs. And you could probably finish a whole plate of fries on your own. Compared to a steak, which is smaller in size, it's more dense in nutrients, a lot of protein. Um, which one do you think is going to make you feel full faster? The plate of fries or the whole steak? So in the group chat, two if you think fries, three the steak. So which one is going to make you feel full faster? So the right answer is, of course, steak, because it's super dense, it's hard to chew, compared to fries, where I could honestly eat that whole plate of fries on myself. So, which is why the timing of like how you eat as well is very important, when you eat your meals, which I'll go over in the next few slides. So, for example, imagine this broccoli crown is the same size as this cupcake. Which do you think is going to be easier to like just consume or like just like eat and not feel full? Most likely the cupcake. I could just like put that whole thing in my mouth. But if it were the broccoli, I would feel full fast and I'd be tired of the broccoli. So we want to make sure we're eating all our meals in this order if we want to bring the fat down. So this is very important when trying to lose weight, because eating it in this order is what's really going to help you feel full faster. So I'm going to share a story of um, when I went to Japan. So everyone knows katsu, so deep fried pork cutlet. In Japan, they have a thing where in those katsu restaurants, you can order unlimited rice, unlimited miso soup, and you got just one serving of meat because meat is expensive. So what these broke college students would do, so like these katsu meals would be worth maybe around 15 to 20 bucks. What these broke college students would do in order to get their money's worth is they would eat as much rice as they can. And I saw them order 5 big bowls of rice and they weren't full yet. So like they were like finishing the rice and they would call the waiter for another bowl of rice. They'd finish another bowl of rice, call the waiter, right? So what I'm telling you now, like my point is that starchy carbs are super easy to eat and you could eat as much as you can without feeling full. Just like these Japanese guys that just like downed like 5 big bowls of rice. And the rice bowls were like this, but then of course they like in Japan they have like it's like a mountain. Um, but yeah, so starchy carbs are super easy to eat. It's hard to feel full from them. They're high in calories. You're not gonna get um, like you're not gonna feel full from them. So, which is why eating in this order is very important. So, we want to prioritize protein. So, protein is the building blocks for our muscles, of course, right? So, more protein, more muscle. When you have more muscle, uh, you're gonna burn fat faster, right? So, we always want to prioritize that. Also, for protein, it's for when you're taking in protein, your body needs more calories to digest it. So and absorb it. So in order to, so for example, if you're eating rice, it's easier for your body to absorb, and digest. Whereas protein, it needs a bit more work to digest that food. So you're also burning calories while gaining muscle, which is why everyone in the fitness industry is always like, "Oh, I love protein. Protein is the best." Yes, it is the best because you're gaining more muscle from it. When you're gaining more muscle, you're losing more fat faster. Yeah. Anyways, second thing you want to prioritize is veggies. So you want to be eating more veggies. Again, as I said earlier, this is nature's medicine cabinet for you. More veggies is going to help you feel more full. They're packed in nutrients, super low in calories. If you've logged in veggies in your MyFitnessPal, you'll see how much calories is in like one thing of broccoli, like one cup. It's super low. And that's why I say veggies is unlimited. So yeah, so you got proteins, veggies, and you want your starchy carbs last. So starchy carbs again is something like rice, noodles, um, potatoes. Like carbs are not bad. You need carbs in order to fuel yourself for the workout as well. If you don't have carbs at all, you're gonna feel like shit. Your mood is gonna go down as well. You don't want that. Like you can lose fat if you don't have like if you don't take in carbs, but like it's gonna like you're going to risk feeling like shit. You're gonna be in a low mood all the time. Carbs are what's gonna give you energy. What's bad is eating too much of it, which is what 90% of people are doing right now. Because carbs, oh, they feel good. Yeah, yeah. But then that's what's making you fat. So, and number three, how to make sure you're eating more and weighing less. You always want a good amount of protein in every meal. So that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, even your snacks as well. Okay. So your body again uses more calories to digest protein versus any other macros. And when you're eating more protein, you're burning more calories while building more muscle and keeping the fat off. For example, if you want a high protein breakfast, it's always some sort of egg, like 2 to 3 eggs a day. I always do that as well. Um, on days where I want pancakes, um, I always buy these Kodiak cakes, high protein pancakes you can buy at Costco. I'll add eggs into um, the protein mix as well. Oh, sorry, the pancake mix as well. But yeah, any questions on the slides, feel free to message right now. Any questions that I passed as well, or like things that you had questions about earlier, let me know right now in the group chat. If all clear, type all clear into the group chat and I'll move forward. So type in all clear from all you guys and I'll move forward. Okay. So here's the minimal gym formula. So everyone thinks, oh, I gotta go to the gym often in order to lose weight. You don't. So all the clients I showed you earlier that saw crazy results, they started out with 3 times a week in the gym. And I made the workouts for them, and all the workouts are 45 minutes to an hour. And that's it. So when you think about it in the whole week, um, that's 3 hours of your week. So in order to see fat loss results, all you need is 3 workouts, and they're 45 to 60 minute workouts. Um, so yeah, they all started out with three, and then in the first 2 months, they were like, "Oh, I kind of have an itch to go to the gym more. Can I get more workouts, please?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll give them four." So I gave them 4 workouts. There's barely Um, like there's only a few people where I only give five because they have more time. Um, they're less busy. They're younger as well. They want five, so I give them five. I just gotta make sure they do them all. But ideally, if you want to keep the weight off for the rest of your life, just go to the gym 3 times a week. 45 minutes is 60 minutes. And if you break it down, it's 3 hours every week. So think about how much time you spend doing things that don't benefit your life at all. For Netflix, for example, people always say, "Oh, I'm gonna go home watch Netflix, binge a show." 3 episodes is like um, an hour each, so that's 3 hours. People watch Netflix until like when they get home until maybe 12 or 1 when they sleep, right? Or think about like the times you've been scrolling on Instagram. I'm a victim of this as well. Like I scroll, I've noticed I've scrolled for 2 hours straight and not do anything at all. So instead of scrolling at home and not burning any calories at all, you can go to the gym and do your scrolling as well. That's what you can do instead. Um, Gaming, for example, people like a gaming session could be up to like an hour to 5 hours, maybe longer. I've had people say that like, oh, I've gamed for 8 hours straight. And like, how do you even like do that? Right? Or rotting in bed doing absolutely nothing, right? That's not going to help you burn calories. If you want to lose weight, be in the best shape of your life, you can't be doing anything. You got to be thinking about how someone that looks fit is fit. So, someone that is fit, do they watch Netflix for hours? No. Do they scroll for hours? Maybe. But then they always make time to do their 3 hours of working out per week, right? Is someone fit a gamer? Maybe not, but they probably have those. Like, if they are a gamer and they are fit, they're probably getting at least 3 hours of working out in their week. Okay. But you got to make sure that all three workouts are structured accordingly in order to see results. So the best workouts are full body workouts, um, with an RPE of 7 out of 10. So full body, as in you've hit all the muscle groups, um, on sorry, for example, like even if it's an upper body day, you hit lower body as well, something like that. So RPE of 7 out of 10. So RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. So that's on a scale of 1 to 10. You got to ask yourself, how hard was this exercise? How hard was this workout? So if your workouts feel like a 5 or 4 out of 10, that's not going to cut it if you want to lose weight faster and see results. You have to be doing a bit more than borderline in order to work out for a long period of time. And if you want to lose weight and stay lean. The reason why this is the sweet spot is because if you're working out, or if your workouts are an 8 out of 10, it's not sustainable. Like I don't even work out super hard in the gym. Like I don't push an 8 out of 10. I do that like once a month. If I were pushing an 8 out of 10 for a month straight, I would probably hate the gym. And this is coming from someone that's been working out for 11 years. You don't want to do too much, or else you're gonna start building this relationship with like hating the gym. And that's why people fall out, right? You want to make sure you're doing a 7 out of 10 for 45 to 60 minutes, and then you're done. You could do whatever you want with your life. But you got to make sure you're pushing hard enough. If you're doing like less than five, so like less than 50%, you're not getting shit done. You're not giving your body that signal to change. When you're at a 6 or 7 out of 10 in the difficulty level for your workout, or the not difficulty, but like the intensity level of your workout, you're sending signals in your body to change physically. Um, if you're doing 4 out of 5, you're just letting your body know that you're moving. But then if you're working out and pushing hard 6 or 7 out of 10, you're pretty much telling your muscles, oh, we got to change. We got to like recruit more muscle in order to do this thing. And when you're recruiting more muscle, you're building more muscle. When you're building more muscle, you're losing more fat faster. And when you're losing fat, you're going to be more toned. It all is a chain. Okay. But just remember, ask yourself after every set, did this feel like a 6 or 7 out of 10? If not, change it. Okay. Make it harder. Okay. And also you want at least one core and one glute exercise in the warm up. So it depends on the day. For me, on upper body days, I just do um, a core warm up or a mid back workout. Oh, sorry, mid back warm up. Because this is gonna help you with posture as well. Um, because 90% of people have jobs where they're sitting down all day. And your mid back, your glutes, and your core are numb. They're off, which is why you need to add these core, glute, um, and mid back exercises in the beginning of your workout. The reason why we do this in the beginning is to make sure that you don't forget them. Okay. So we always want to prioritize the stuff that we always forget and avoid. So the more times you do this, like you add a core workout and glute exercise in the beginning, posture is going to be better. Your knees are going to feel less like shit. Um, what's it called? Less injury as well, right? But yeah, and to top it off, you need at least 60 minutes of extra walking per day. So they can be split up into two 30-minute walks, up to you. I advise clients to do 30-minute walk right when they wake up and get the last 30 minutes later in the day. So why 60 minutes? So the average person, when they don't get extra steps in, the average steps they do get um, is 2 to 4,000 steps per day, which is not enough to burn fat. Okay. So I always say, always aim for 10,000 steps per day, which is going to, so 10K steps, burn an extra 400 calories. Okay. So every 1,000 steps burns 40 calories. Okay. So you just gotta be walking more. So you gotta think about the people that are toned as well. They're not just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. They are walking more. This is your cardio. Okay. And there are like a bunch of clients where like once they started adding more steps in, they started seeing results. And you don't have to like do any like running. Like that's a like one of the biggest mistakes ever, like running, um, or stair climbing as well. Like if you want to do stair climbing, that's fine. But I would avoid running for fat loss because you don't run in real life. Or like in your real life, you're walking. You're only running if you're an athlete. So you gotta train in the gym, kind of like how you're training, or like you're training in the gym so that outside of the gym, everything is so much easier. Okay. But then I noticed that once clients got 8 to 10,000 steps per day, they were starting to see results. Right. And you could, like, 60 minutes sounds like a lot, but you could break it down to two 30-minute sessions. So the minimal gym formula. So as I said here, 4K steps daily, blah, blah. Always aim for 8 to 10,000 steps per day. Okay. All clear. So group chat, type in all clear so I can move on and then we could finish off. So type all clear and then we'll move forward. Cool. So I gave you a bunch of information. How do I start losing weight with all this information? So, all my clients get a weekly game plan, which involves nutrition, which involves your fitness, which involves mindset or your lifestyle. Okay. So it's always three things you got to work on. And then we always agree upon it every week. And I always ask them, is this doable for you? They say yes. Okay. Then they do the plan. But if your game plan is totally not doable, you're not going to do it. And which is going to make you not see results at all. So you always want a game plan that's doable so that you can sustain it for a long period of time. Because in order to see results, you got to be doing this shit daily. Okay. So all my clients, of course, like they worked hard. They were showing up for themselves every fucking day. They didn't miss a day. There are times where they missed a day, but then they just got back into it once they were feeling down or whatever. Because shit happens in life, right? So let's see. So for example, for nutrition, the goal here would be to maintain a calorie deficit for the whole week. Um, it's it all depends on your weight and your age as well, and your goal as well. So you got to make sure you're hitting this goal every day if you want to see results. There are going to be days where you go over your calories, which is fine, which is why we always add up all like add it up as a weekly average so you feel less like shit. Because people tend to like, oh fuck, I fucked up this one day, and then they they want to give up. Don't do that. You just want to focus on the weekly average being what your goal is. So being in a calorie deficit. If you need help with calculating your calorie deficit, message me after the call. Okay. So also number two for fitness, you want to be making sure you're getting at least 3 to 4 workouts in the week. So minimum three, just 3 workouts in the week, and they're all well structured as well. Okay. And number three is mindset and lifestyle. Here we just talk about like how much steps you're gonna get for the rest of the week. So daily, it's always 8 to 10,000 steps. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For attending, you will receive both of these ebooks that I wrote. So mastering food portions for fat loss. So it's pretty much what we covered today. And then my lean muscle blueprint. So it covers everything we did today, especially the game plan here. So in this, you will also, um, like, it will help you like make up a game plan for yourself and also a workout template that you can follow. The portion control ebook talks more about how to portion, and there's also meal ideas as well in there. Okay. So, all clear on that. And right now is question time. So if you have any questions right now, I'll answer them right now. But if not, you guys can leave, say thank you, bye-bye, and I'll send you my free ebooks. Okay. So let's see. I think Elisa had a question. Um, so Elisa's question from earlier is how long is it? So scrolling. Elisa's question is how long is it best to keep tracking calories? So, um, how long is it best to, hi guys, how long is track calories? So, um, you don't have to be tracking calories for a long time. Um, You just got to make sure that you're not overeating and your food is not all over the place. If your food is all over the place, you should be tracking your food. But if you notice that you're eating the same things all the time, um, it's so you can stop tracking your calories if you know exactly what you're eating. But if you're eating something different all the time, you can't stop. You have to keep on tracking. Okay. But for most of my clients, like they notice that they're eating the same things after 3 or 4 months and they've been consistently tracking, that's when they could stop tracking. Because they got like that's like at a point where like they've learned so much about like how much each food is. They know how to portion their food out as well. They show me pictures of their food to hold them accountable as well. And then that's going to be a point where I'm like, okay, you can stop tracking if you want. It seems like you're eating well. The weight is continuing to go down. So let's try like a few weeks without tracking, and then we'll see. And then if they do continue to see the weight go down, that's when they stop. Um, like they don't have to like track anymore. They could just focus on using the portion guide. Um, but if they see the weight go up, they got to go back into tracking. So it depends. Um, you just have to like if you really want to get out of tracking, you'd be eating the same thing every day. And you got to prove it to me as well. But if you're all over the place with your food, I would not stop tracking. Hope that answers your question, Lisa. How do you figure out? So Steph asks, how do you figure out how many calories to eat in a day in order to be in a deficit? So there are calorie calculators online. So I could even search one up for you right now. So let's see. Yeah, close this. So if I just search up, um, calorie calculator. Oh, and then let's see. There's this one. This one right here. So, um, how to calculate how much calories you should be taking in, and if you want to lose weight. So, for example, I'll use myself as an example here. So I'll choose US units. My age is 29. I am 5'6", and my weight is 150. And then it's gonna ask you um, how many times a week you exercise. For me, it's say 4 to 5 times. I'll just do this 1 to 3 times a week, and then calculate. So it's going to show you a bunch of numbers. So if you want to maintain your weight, this is how much I should be eating. If I want to lose weight extremely, 2 pounds a week, I wouldn't be eating that much. But if I just want to lose weight in a sustainable way, I would do this 1900 calories. If I want to see results fast, I would do 1600 calories. So that's how easy it is to like find out how much calories you should be taking if you want to be in a deficit. So, and also if you want to find out like, oh, how much carbs, how much fat, how much protein you should be eating, all you got to do is you got to log in these numbers into MyFitnessPal, and then it will make a ratio for you. Okay. Any other questions? That's a good question, though. So again, you could take advantage of me right now. Since you have a personal trainer here right now, I have time as well. Ask as many questions as you want. If not, I will close this in 12:05, or I'll just close it right now. So any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, mm, so if you don't have any more questions, put no questions, and then I will end the group chat here. So type into the group no questions. Bye, Seth. And I think Reza is done. Anyways, peace. Bye, Reza.